Are live yet? Now we're live.
It's a ghost because
We are live.
no one did. No one touched anything. Oh shit!
Hey, welcome.
We got
Johnny's Corner.
Get a full body.
We're going live tonight. Got Josh Jones up in the house.
Thanks again for having me.
Fuck, thanks for coming by. It's a pleasure.
Welcome,
We want to talk about movies. Talk about the things we like to do. I mean, in this crazy world, movies are on the top of the list for me.
We just went through Johnny's library here in the background. He's got thousands of movies, and we just picked some stuff off the shelf that we both like.
Straight off the cuff.
We're just going to talk a bit about it.
Yeah, why not? So I'll start it off. 1980s, probably mid to late 80s, maybe early 80s, 84, 85.
Body double? Yeah, I think it's 83 or 84.
83? Wow. Body double. Like, I mean, there was like a Hitchcock film similar to this.
Yeah.
Can't remember what it's called. The guy in the wheelchair, he's like, hey, they buried my neighbor. Kind of same feel. You've seen the Simpsons episode.
Yeah.
They were making fun of that one. It's like this, okay? But
Brian De Palma.
Man, Brian De Palma.
Scarface.
Fucking Untouchables. So many good films.
Yeah.
Like, I made sure I put in the tags Brian De Palma like 5 times. I put in Spanish, English, Francais, Dutch, German. I put in Latin.
How would you describe this movie though? Because
this movie is just like
very odd.
Well, I'm so lucky because at the time when I watched this, it must have been a couple years ago, during the lockdown, I had it in my collection. I had this nice red stripe RCA release, and I never watched it, but I was like, man, that's a cool fucking cover. Very creepy. Some guy appearing through the shadows, through the closet.
Very voyeuristic movie.
Voyeuristic for sure. And I was like, okay, let's put this on finally. I'm like, what have I got myself into? Straight off the cuff, like super thrilling, crazy thriller. This guy's like hanging around. He's like not making that much money.
He's an actor.
He's an actor. He's just moved out of his flat, or he's looking for a place to stay. And he's in this acting class, and an opportunistic scumbag.
Yeah, he meets a dude who lets him stay.
Yeah, he seems like a cool guy.
Oh, you need a place to stay. It was because he catches his girlfriend cheating at home, so he's like, he goes to move out.
Right.
And then this guy in his acting class is like, dude, do you need a place to stay?
Come stay in my fucking...
Sure. It's awesome.
Awesome penthouse on top of a contemporary fucking like San Francisco pier. I don't know where it is, Seattle. Who knows?
Something like that.
Like it's in this weird tower that's like must be like 10 million back then. It'd be like 50 million now.
Yeah.
Like contemporary art, beautiful design, architecture, and it's overviewing this beautiful landscape of other nice villas and apartment buildings, condos.
Yeah.
And just so happens there's a fucking telescope sitting there. And this beautiful view. This guy's living his life. He's like, I guess that dream come true.
Like,
a little too good to be true.
What do we see? And he starts.
So all of a sudden he's peering around. He's getting horny.
There's
a lot of music where he's like, you feel the blood pumping. He's like, oh, I'm horny.
The theme song.
He's watching some chick. She's naked.
Yeah,
as he's walking around,
peering around, he sees.
It's about 40 minutes of this.
Some woman stripping in her apartment.
Mind you, if this is the 80s, this is pretty much the best porn you ever saw.
Just randomly walking around her apartment doing a little strip tease, and he's like, oh, what's this? He doesn't intentionally go out to be a perv or peeping Tom, but he's just looking around at the telescope, and he's like, oh, what's that? And
I don't want to give too much away, but yeah, definitely not. It's not normal what's going on.
But he witnesses her murder while he's watching her.
Let's not go right to murder. You witness this guy in the apartment, like running around, hiding behind doors, doing weird shit, going into the
he sees the killer come in and everything.
Yeah,
and do it.
He's watching him go through the safe. Maybe he didn't want to kill her. Maybe it's all planned.
Yeah. Who
knows? I don't want to get too into it, but dude, body double. You want a nice thriller, mystery? Watch this shit. It's fucking edge of your seat material.
Oh,
that's for sure. I don't want to give too much more away because we do give away a lot in Johnny's Corner. They are old movies, but I think most of the mainstream people have not seen this, probably.
Melanie Griffin is in it.
Melanie Griffith is in this.
And she's really good in it. And she plays
She's glorious in this.
She plays a porn
She plays
star
Gloria, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gloria Revelle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's.
And I guess the guy's name is Craig Wasson.
Yeah, from A Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
Yeah.
As the Doctor. I've never seen him in anything
else. Was it the same
else.
guy? It wasn't the same guy in House, no.
No, but...
similar looking guy.
Yeah.
You know what? I would expect him to be like in Curb Your Enthusiasm next month or something.
Like that. Yeah,
he sucks.
Yeah, he's not a great actor.
No,
but
talking about Curb Your Enthusiasm, I was
really
watching
good.
Crocodile Dundee Part 2 the other day, and guess who the fucking tour guide is in that movie?
Who is it?
It's fucking Susie. Fucking old fucking Susie! From Curb. Yeah,
No
and
way.
she's like 13 in it or 20.
Fuck you, Larry!
Even more annoying back then.
She's
and you're like,
hilarious.
What the fuck, man? Whose dick got sucked? Whose daughter is this? Susie, you suck.
Alright, so
But I love you
in
in
this
Curb.
one then.
Okay, let's move on to our next one.
I picked out
The
the movie
Crow.
from the library, The Crow, with Brandon Lee.
What a legendary film.
This one's a little more popular than Body Double. Body Double's fucking great, and a lot of people have slept on it and don't know Body Double. But a lot of people know The Crow because of Brandon Lee,
For sure.
who was Bruce Lee's son, and he died during the making of the movie. And this movie is very good, very interesting, awesome soundtrack. And it would have been the movie that probably would have really
Weren't we talking about
launched his career. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, because he
This was
died
his
during the
big
making.
break, and he died. And it was so sad because the guy that pulled the trigger, it has a similar feel to this shit with the Baldwin. This shit.
Oh yeah, it was totally accidental. There was some kind of
Investigation.
There was a mistake that happened with one of the guns they used in the film.
Yeah, a live round was put into a.
Yeah.
The thing is, people don't understand with guns. There's no fake guns that shoot blanks. There's real guns that shoot blanks.
Yeah.
And if you get a cartridge, sometimes, even if it's a fake cartridge, if it gets stuck in the chamber, the next time you shoot it, it'll shoot that cartridge that got jammed in there, and it will be a bullet. And most times, maybe you get a flesh wound. One time, we lost a grape, and it's super sad.
There's a lot of controversy and
conspiracies
about why or how it happened. It was probably an accident, but you guys can look into that on your own because we don't.
When
really
I was
know
a kid, I always thought
sure.
they killed his dad, they killed him. It's all.
They both
But I don't have the answers.
Oh, there was all kinds of stuff.
When
about
I did
the
the
Chinese
science,
mafia and all these theories, like no, they probably both.
If you watch Bruce Lee, the Dragon Story, or what's it called?
Yeah.
It has that aspect.
Enter the Dragon.
Like they were cursed, you know.
And I think Bruce, died at 32, 33. Brandon died at 28. Very young, aspiring star. He's super exceptional in it. It's like I like to kind of equate it with Heath Ledger. And
he didn't get to be a father either, did he?
I don't think so. No, I think his wife really was pregnant during the making of the movie. But it's kind of like an interesting. It's a revenge story. It's a vendetta tale. It's based on some graphic novels.
Michael Wincott.
The graphic novels. I think it was Dan O'Bannon. I think was his name. You guys can let us know if that's right or not.
Well, he did all he did Dark Star. He did Star Wars. He did Alien.
Is it him? Or I might be thinking of someone else. Then it might not be him. No.
Dan O'Bannon. I don't know. Might have been the guy from Spawn.
But the author and artist of the graphic novels did some really gritty stuff in the 80s. They're very R-rated kind of comic books for adults. And then that's what the film was based off of, basically.
It's definitely like that type of movie, like what would you call them? Like those comic books back in the day, those exploitation comic books, like
kind of like pulp, the pulp ones.
Yeah, like remember the one Quentin Tarantino did?
Sin City.
Yeah.
It's
like that.
It's very much like that.
Yeah,
like really
Sorry,
dark,
I'm just gonna check something. Go ahead.
Comic novels. It's kind of like a story about it's kind of a Return of the Living Dead type story. It's about a ghost who
let's bring it.
He's murdered.
Can I bring it back to the start?
Well, let's give him a quick breakdown of what it is.
You want to start it off at the beginning?
Yes. So basically, Brandon Lee is a musician in the movie. And on, I think it's Halloween night or the night before, him and his girlfriend.
Actually, can I say one thing? Just because I'm living on a top floor of a building.
For sure.
It's like literally what it is like before there were drone cameras, somehow they had a helicopter. In the beginning of the film, There's a good music score, and they're coming in, and they're going down, and it's like this top floor, maybe 12th floor of some kind of weird,
really old gothic
kind of building. It seems like it's the 70s, but it's really the 90s. And you're coming in there, and it's like this cool noir type gothic awesome penthouse anyone would love growing up coming in if you're in college or whatever.
Dirty old loft. It's
so
like a
cool.
Perfect artist
There's
loft,
candles everywhere. He's doing his thing. They're in love. They're a nice couple, and then fucking all hell breaks loose, and these scumbags somehow get up in the. I'm on the 3rd floor. I'm like, I got a skylight here. Let's imagine I left the door open, something happened. God forbid. That kind of thing.
And it's gang of hooligans.
They kill him, but his love is so strong.
Kill him and his wife.
That he comes back from the dead.
He comes back from the dead. It is kind of a zombie ghost story.
Kind of like a
he literally
New Orleans type.
Crawls out of the grave and then goes on a vendetta, seeking vengeance to kill the gang that killed him and his girlfriend.
So he can sleep.
And there's some interesting elements too of
Edward Scissorhands feel too.
It's very kind of Tim Burton sort of feel, very gothic, very dark. It's got a lot of the black
really
leather
well done though. At that time, film was so good. You're watching movies like Point Break and Bodyguard, and it was just like, what's the new crazy thing you can do? Shot really well.
There's some interesting social stuff going on too, with
totally
gentrification and things like that.
Oh, remember the girl? She's like a young Bart Simpson. And she's like,
well, him and his girlfriend apparently in the movie they are targeted by this gang because there's a drug dealer who's kind of taking over most of the city, and he's buying up all the old
last people there.
And they refuse to leave this loft that they have.
It's like Joe's apartment.
And so his girlfriend writes a letter to the landlord saying we're not going to leave. This is crazy.
They know their rights.
The head of this gang who's trying to evict them and get them out sends his henchmen out there to kill them basically and get rid of them so that he can take over the building because they refuse to condemn the building. And then so Michael Wincott, he plays the head of the gang.
Why not a knife?
What's his name? His name.
Why not an axe?
Big Top in it or something ridiculous. And then
they all have crazy names, like Fluff Boy or Clown Boy or something.
Fun Boy, T-Bird.
And Fun Boy, sad part, we might have mentioned this. He was the guy that pulled the trigger on Brandon Lee.
Michael Massey, the actor, unfortunately was the one
Boy.
who was wielding the gun that did shoot.
And he died a couple of years back, early 60s.
And then what is it? Who's the guy with the knives in it that throws the knives?
I don't know.
It's okay. It'll come to me. But then there's
but a lot of
four gang members.
They have a lot, but they have a lot of like I said, Day of the Dead, feels from Louisiana, New Orleans. What do they call that in Mexico?
Day of the Dead.
Day of the Dead. Yeah, it has a lot of that feel in it. And in this, there's a sequel. It's a sequel. It's no good.
Yeah.
But
the timeline.
They mention that a lot.
It's Halloween night.
Yeah. Exactly.
When he returns from the dead, it's 1 year later on Halloween that he goes on this vendetta, and he is basically a zombie in the movie, so he's invincible as well.
The bullets aren't killing him.
So as he goes out seeking the gang members. They can fire whatever they want at him, and he takes a good beating during the movie, and he just of course keeps going until he's rid the city of all of these gang members that are destroying the town. And it seems like their goal every Halloween is they go out and they burn down as many of the derelict buildings in the city as they can so that they can take over the property.
Right. Turn down the value of the property so they can take over.
So they're setting the whole city on fire every Halloween. Basically.
And I just gotta say, I love the Canadian actor Michael Wincott.
Michael Wincott's so good. Man.
He's in, as we know, he's in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Yeah.
He's in a lot of good films.
Alien
Resurrection. He's got a foot fetish.
In that movie, yes, he does.
I thought it was horrible that they killed him off the way they did, but it always stuck with me. So I never forgot his caricature. He's just such a good character actor, you know.
He's known for his like very
he reminds
raspy voice.
Yeah.
He's got a smoker voice, and he's
kind of familiar to what's his name and Big Frat Person.
Oh, Ted Levine. Very unique voice.
Very unique. And I also thought Michael Ironside was that kind of character too, and he's also a Canadian actor. Love him. Very underutilized. He was great in Total Recall. He loses both arms, like it's a fucking nutty scene.
But Brandon's performance in the movie,
impeccable.
Oh, and Ernie Hudson from Ghostbusters is the
the
cop.
He's the cop in it, and I forgot to mention that. He's actually on the back of the case.
He's really good at it. He plays the cop that eventually sides with Brandon Lee. He eventually is the only
he actually thinks he's alive.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, I'm your friend, man. What are you doing?
Yeah.
I'm trying to give you advice, but like
he's one of the
eventually I think he realizes like this is insane.
There's no way. He eventually realizes this guy must be a ghost because he's like, I handled this case when it happened.
Yeah.
I remember.
What are you doing? Why is the grave dug up?
You and your wife were killed. What's going on?
Okay, well, we're gonna move on.
Yeah.
The Crow.
Definitely check out
story.
The Crow.
Sad story, but you should watch The Crow.
I also recommend watching the interview they did with Brandon Lee during the shooting of The Crow.
It's actually on my.
Brandon Lee talks a lot about the role and what he did to like prepare himself for the role.
He probably died like an hour later.
Oh, it's very sad because he's so good in it, and he's so like ready to launch his career.
It's morbid for sure.
He kind of knows this is going to be his breakthrough.
Actually, why don't we take a break
and
we'll come back. I got 2 more movies I wanted to go through, and I know you've seen them.
And it's just so eerie. The idea that it's a movie about him dying, and he dies in it, and he actually in a scene where they
he's dead the whole movie, and then half the movie when it's over, he's actually dead. It's very fucking morbid, creepy. It makes me sad thinking about it all the time.
Yeah.
But man, no one shined brighter. I'll tell you, there's some movies like he did you've never seen. He just fucking killed it.
Oh yeah, I just remembered too. On a side note, the Knife
Laser Mission. Check that one out. It's like
another good Brandon Lee movie. Yeah. The Knife Guy doesn't matter at this point anymore. Was Tintin. Tintin, T-Bird, Fun Boy, and Skank were the 4 gangsters that kill him. And then Big Top was Michael Wincott.
Hey Mecca, you should probably make them in the characters.
Bang, fuck him dead. If you've seen the movie, you would understand that. If not, that just sounded insane. But that's my Michael Wincott.
I've seen the movie and it was insane. But anyways, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back in 15 minutes. Okay? End stream now.
I think I freaked everyone.
I want to see it.